Hey friends, how's everybody doing out there today? We got some awesome people already accumulating in the chat. I see Ryan Patrick, how are you? Red Sox, how are you? Jack found crypto. Jack, there was another AMA this morning. You have to know. Ryan Patrick,
oh, there it is.
Red Sox, how are you? Jack found crypto. Jack, I gotta figure out another AMA this which morning. You have to know. Ryan Patrick. Which one of my windows is feeding back through. This happens every time. So I have set a I set a reminder on my own feed in Twitter, and so I'm getting some feedback there. Got that taken care of, I think. All right, guys. Before we get started today, I just want to give some disclosures. My name is Dean. Some people know me as a Saitama Stacker or Crypto Stacker. And I'm hosting this AMA today. I'm not a part of the Terrarium team or development team. I was given a modest fee to host the first AMA last week, and I wanted to do some follow-ups. So that's where we're at with this. I appreciate everybody being here. I would ask that you please post any comments that you have. It is an AMA, and I am willing to ask any question to the development team, and they seem open to taking those. So without much further ado here, let me bring in the Terrarium team who are currently waiting backstage.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
There we are. So we've got
hey, hi,
Dr. Praveen in the chat or in the house right now. Welcome to the stream, guys. How are you doing this evening, this morning?
Oh, thank you. We're doing great.
I bet you are. Things are looking pretty strong right now for the Terrarium team. We're going to pull that chart here in just a minute and give everybody a look. But things look like they're going very well. Do we know if Milton will be joining this morning?
Yeah.
He's going to get on, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they're just crazy busy today with everything that's going on. But we've got some really, really good questions. I looked and pulled questions from the Terrarium Telegram, as well as from my Twitter feed. And in my videos, I solicited questions and did get some responses there. So we've got some great things that we'll be looking at. But before we get into that, let's just start with the two of you who are in the chat. Let's give a refresher for any new people. Tell us about yourselves and what your role is with Terrarium.
Go ahead, Dr. Naidu.
Yeah, myself, Dr. Ramana Naidu, from Hyderabad, India. I'm the CFO, co-founder of Terrarium, which is a central exchange. The main utility of this token is a central exchange with DeFi capability, followed by Tera ERC721 NFT platform. Then blockchain, our own blockchain will come in 2023. Yes.
All right, and Dr. Praveen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dr. Badiga. I'm an allergy immunology specialist here in California. And I got involved with the Terrarium team just recently, a few weeks ago. And we have launched our native token, Terrarium, for the centralized exchange, which is going to be based in the United States. It's an LLC out of Wyoming and also in Dubai, as well as India, and with probable expansion in the Southeast Asian market as of now.
All right. Very good. Thanks for introducing yourselves. We've had a few additional folks join us in the chat. Red Smith, just want to say, hey, Red Smith has been a huge contributor to my channel, and I appreciate all of the beautiful artwork that you see with my introductions. That gentleman is responsible for, so thank you. So before we jump into some heavy questions, I just kind of want to get a feel for what emotions are you guys going through leading up to this token launch?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's because of our tokenomics. The people are getting crazy, and multiple buys are there, and the green candles all over the chart, and very less sell-offs. and people are, they're getting more interested towards our project. That is a central exchange, and that's pretty much like yeah. See how it is going. It's like
It's going
terrarium, like a
We're
mountain,
really
well.
excited
This is
about
going well.
and number of holders also have drastically increased.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think there have been a lot of nervous people. It's I think we come by it honestly in the cryptocurrency community, where we have a high level of skepticism. People are very concerned about fraud and essentially abuse of the investors, and there was certainly some of that leading up to it. But I think so far you guys have managed this very well, and and you're off to a great start. So, Praveen, how about you? How have you been feeling about this pre-launch time frame?
the pre-launch timeframe. It's awesome. I mean, we started with the I believe the airdrop. After the airdrop, I got involved with the pre-sale, and after that, we launched our native token this morning.
Yeah.
I think Milton is waiting, Dean.
Say that again, Dr. Ramana.
I think Milton is waiting actually. Yeah, please let me know. Yeah, thank you.
Because I don't see him when I'm.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. There. I got to scroll down here.
Okay.
So it looks like we've got Milton and Dr. Willman as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey. Hi guys, can you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
Yeah. Hi, Willman, Dr. Willman. How are you?
Good. I'm at work. I have only a few minutes, but I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to stop by.
I'm the only guy without a white coat.
Yeah. Monday at work. So yeah, I just wanted to stop by and say that I'm so happy about the launch. It's going great. I know there was a lot of skeptical people about talking about the pre-sale, but if you see things in this way, when you see a market cap of 50 millions, usually there are wallets that holds a lot of money, right? And maybe once a token launch and you get to 10 million market cap, 20 million, there are already wallets that are 10x, 100x, or 1000x already. So the way that we set up the pre-sale, at this point, everyone is kind of equal, right? I think everyone that bought the pre-sale is about 100% gains. It's just very uniform. So, and that's why, I don't expect any dumps. Like people were saying that we were going to dump like 60%, 70%. I don't see this is going to be the case because everyone is kind of having uniform gains. I'm really excited about the chart, and I think we will hold very well. Of course, we will see dips, but we will have new investors too. New investors will be coming, and it's a matter of time, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, and we did the analysis, right? And we had the pre-sale cap applied during the pre-sale and during the airdrop. So no individual has the entire control of a dump right now, right? So everybody had their limitations. Example, with 5 trillion per ETH, everybody had their limitation with 10 ETH and so, right? So that's what is reflecting in the charts right now, because no individual has the capacity to dump, and that is what it is. Yes.
Yeah, so I will just say I think that we will see people in the chat, or there'll be people watching this that will say there's potentially one individual, and we'll address it a little bit, but I think the pre-launch for me, the experience that was nice about it is an ICO fair launch. I think it's a great way to do things, but it's chaotic, and especially for brand new investors, if you're unfamiliar with how to go in, how to connect your wallet to Uniswap, and how to make all of those arrangements, and the slippage, as the price is changing, it can be very chaotic. So as a buyer, I had a good experience, and I didn't disclose that at the beginning of the video, but I did purchase 0.5 ETH in the pre-sale. So I thought it was convenient for people who are new to to cryptocurrency, to be able to do it in a calm environment instead of what's currently happening, which is kind of a feeding frenzy, right?
That is correct. You're trying to find the correct contract address. You're trying to go into Twitter, Telegram. You don't know whether you got the right one, and you're trying to look into Uniswap back and forth, and checking the slippage. And some of the transactions don't go through as a failed transaction. So it's a lot of confusion.
All clear, code red. All clear.
Oh, that's good news for everybody who's listening in the background.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So to sort out that confusion, we had the pre-sale.
Yeah. And so, Milton, how would you classify the success of the pre-sale in terms of what your expectations were and what the outcomes were? How would you describe that pre-sale?
It's overwhelming at the end of the day. So it's just the community is getting together and making this a community-driven token, and that's what we want at the end of the day, right? So we want the community to grow the entire platform, and that is getting replicated in the charts right now because everybody is coming together and growing the token, just
Yes.
as we spoke about. So.
Yeah, definitely. So I do have several questions here from the community, and I wanted to jump in. The first one was, it looked like there was a delay in the launch this morning. Could you tell us a little bit about that and what was what created that?
Sure, absolutely. See, we had the pre-sale, the launch at 1789 Ethereums for 8.9 quadrillion tokens. There was a small delay happened because Uniswap does not allow over 5 quadrillion tokens to be attached to a liquidity pool. And we were trying out different numbers, trying out different Ethereums, and then our development team had to go through the entire documentation for that because you get exposed to a certain thing. It's your capabilities show on how fast you react and you get the solution out of it, right? So our team went through the entire remapping of the prices within 35 minutes, and we had it deployed at 1,000 Ethereum at 4.9 quadrillion tokens for the same price.
Okay, so what will happen with the additional liquidity that was intended to be added?
It will be added as the token gets reduced from the pool. Right now, we see it as 3.8% has been pooled till now. So we would keep adding that liquidity till that 75% of the entire pre-sale and the airdrop criteria is met. We have already locked the 1,000 Ethereums, which was already added to the into the Uniswap. We have locked it into the Unicrypt. We have not updated it on the website because, as you know, everything is happening in a very short time frame, right? So
yeah, literally just hours into this.
It's literally just hours. So we would be doing that, and it's already there in the Twitter platform. We have locked the entire 100% of that 1,000 Ethereum because we still have 700 and so amount to be added, and that would be slowly added into the pool as we progress because of the 5 quad limitations. Certain amount of tokens has to be sold in order for us to add that amount of tokens and that liquidity.
Okay. So there was another question about, so you have the 75% liquidity locked. What happens to the remaining 25%?
It will be used for the development of the platform, of the servers. There's multiple things to be paid for. So it would be used for the benefit of the token and for the benefit of the, for the basic construction of the entire team.
Okay. Very good. Now, another question, I'm going to switch over to Etherscan here. But another question that I've seen people asking is about the initial 50% liquidity or for token burn, 50% burn. So here is the Ethereum Etherscan report. Looks like holders up to 1,553, which is pretty impressive right out of the gate here. But could you explain to us about the initial burn and what we're seeing here on this holders screen?
Sure. So the first rank is the dead wallet address, which we sent the 4.59%, 49.6% of the burn. You have two burn wallets over here. One is number 1 and number 6. So both are burn wallets. So our marketing wallet gets burnt into the null address, which is at rank 6. And the number first one is the well-renowned burn wallet for all the cryptos.
Okay. I mean, that seems pretty straightforward. So there were a few people in the first AMA that were concerned about,
Yes.
did we actually make that initial burn? So I'm going to go ahead and hide my screen for just a second and make sure I'm on the right screen here for a spreadsheet that I have prepared. And I wanted to just get your guys' take on what these other allocations are for.
Sure.
Give me just one moment here. So, got to move my own personal monitor here so I can see what I've got going on. Okay, let me share this back in again.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll look at these together and you can help us understand what all of these mean.
Sure.
Okay. So here's the supply of the token. What we've got here is 100 quad initial supply, 50% burned. There was intended to be 15 quadrillion for the liquidity. And currently, what is that liquidity state?
Currently, the liquidity the overall liquidity was at 7.1 million, inclusive of the pre-sale and the airdrop.
Okay, but there are
the total was 2,345. That was yes.
Ethereum.
Whatever the Ethereum value was of that point, it was at 7 million then. Now it is at 6.4.
Okay, so the if we're to look at this here, you have the private airdrop, the ICO, the coins allocated for the ICO. It's these bottom wallets that I want to talk about. So you've got this initial marketing wallet set up with 9
quadrillion tokens.
9 quadrillion.
Yes.
And then in addition to that, I'm assuming the tokens that built into the tokenomics that go towards marketing and development.
Yes.
Those would also be added to this wallet over time, or is there a separate location?
Correct. See, there's that 5% marketing wallet. Even if there's a reflections that goes into the wallet too, right? At the end of the day, because reflections go into every wallet which has a Terarium on board. So that 9 quadrillion token is a marketing wallet token, and the reserve wallet that you see below that, the 8.5. We have actually kept it aside to supply the tokens because when we made the initial mapping of the entire token, see, these were the assumed numbers that we would be using. But as you can see, our ICO pre-sale only did 9.8 quadrillion tokens. So there was, there was that little bit of tokens which were still with us in the reserve wallet, which will be a little more higher currently. But the marketing wallet is 9 quadrillion, and the Terarium LLC token has been vested for 1 year.
Okay, and those are allocated to the development team, the Terarium
LLC token. Yes, it was allocated, and it has been it's under trust swap under lock for until 20th of February, I think. Yes.
Okay, and so one more time, the reserve wallet. What's the intention of that wallet for the long term?
Intention of the reserve wallet is basically, we have multiple things planned for the reserve wallet. Basically, it is have a milestone burn. So example, once we meet the 10,000 holder milestone, we will be burning 1 quadrillion from it. And then another quadrillion for 50,000, another 1.5 quadrillion for the 100,000 holders. So then there is a balance limit of 5 quadrillion tokens. So we have to supply a certain amount of tokens to the exchanges as well, right? As we move into those exchanges. So that would be used for that. And the marketing and the development wallet was just kept as a safe end for the team, because just in case we need extra liquidity as we progress, right? See, because the team and the technology has to progress in the future. So if there was any additional requirement from that time the marketing wallet would be used. But as on date right now, we have done a good pre-sale and airdrop. We have sustainability for the next 4 to 5 months, and within that time period, we should have the exchange readily available for us to provide those additional liquidity as well. So everything is going, knock on the wood, as per the graph. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, things. This is really a good start. Last night I had no idea what to expect, knowing that we were going to be doing this AMA over the top of the launch of the token. But I think by anybody's measurement stick, this is going extraordinarily well here.
Correct. But
so
another factor is, token does not determine the exchange. Token is the native token for the exchange, but the exchange has already begun its work, 4 months back, 6 months back. So the exchange by itself will launch no matter what at the end of the day. So I'm just putting it out because our exchange work started first, and token was an addition to the exchange, like the oncoming technologies that would be an addition to the exchange and to the entire Terrarium platform. So token gave us a value at the end of the day. So
okay, that was a question that did come out of the Telegram. You talk about Terrarium as a native token, and they just say how is that native token intended to be used within the exchange?
So a native token basically means that there would be a certain amount of listings, and the pairings would have the native token pairing. So we would be using it in that aspect, and there's multiple resources that can be used in the exchange by itself. We are trying to put in certain features on board, but it will take trial and error method as we progress. So, but for our blockchain, Terrarium would be the native token. So that's the one of the reason that we had the reflections in our wallet into the marketing wallet as Terrarium rather than Ethereum. So
okay. Now I know that's something that came up in terms of this was in from the AMA in the Twitter space, but there was some tokens will take their tax tokens in Ethereum or convert immediately, and some will keep them in the native token. What do you see as the advantage to using the native token versus immediately converting to Ethereum?
Anytime a sell-off happens, right, there's a certain amount of tokens that gets converted into Ethereum, right? So it gets sold off. So that impacts the price also, because there's additional tokens being sold during that sell-off. In our case, the tokens are just right back into the marketing wallet. So there is not that amount of conversion that is happening. And another important key goal is we are not accumulating Ethereum because the entire purpose of the Terrarium token is to have that stability at the end of the day. So having that Terrarium into our marketing wallet, we would only use that wallet just in case of any kind of an emergency or a immediate necessity of funds. But like I mentioned to you before, we had a good pre-sale, so the usage from that end would be very limited at the end of the day. But even if there is usage, it would only be for the benefit of the token and for the community and for the growth. Because if an exchange wants $15,000 in order to be listing, or $20,000 to be listed, right? There's a certain amount of liquidity that we would be taking from the marketing wallet, right? From the in order to pay for those charges, right? So those amount will get reflected into the exchange, where more number of holders come on board into Terrarium. So it's a win-win situation at the end of the day. So
okay. So here's a great question, I think, from this gentleman, Sanket Kumar, who just says, when will there be an exchange launch for small buyers? Now, we know that the Terrarium exchange you just explained would be launched probably sometime in the third quarter of this year.
Correct.
Are you looking at other exchanges? Because the Ethereum gas fees really are prohibitive for people who want to invest smaller dollar amounts.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, our key criteria and our key goal, which we have mentioned in all our roadmap and in the website, is to get listed in as many exchanges as possible, right? So, centralized exchange is a bank by itself. It only runs when there are a good number of holders on board and a good number of transactions happen on board. So, our initial goal is to approach all the exchanges and have our tokens listed there. In the as a added benefit, we get more holders using our tokens and more holders coming on board, and increases our user base. So when the exchange launches, we would have a good strength of users on board who are using the platform. And the all the exchange listings, we already have our a team assigned to do the entire process, because they would be approaching more and more exchanges and asking the requirement, the liquidity, being a new token, right? See, right now we have a good trading volume. So we are at a negotiating point at this point, but there are certain exchanges will want a certain liquidity to be added to that, right? So as
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, to be listed on an exchange, that this is day one, right? We can't really be listed on an exchange before you exist.
correct.
Lots
That's
of
what
work to do there.
yes.
Now, I noticed this morning in the AMA with Awesome Austin that you mentioned you might have as many as 100 team members. Is that currently, or is this in the near future?
See, we already are a team of 24 members, including our development team. So, everybody, and even our board members, they do from A to Z all the work pretty much, right? So there's no anything anybody can help out at any point. Everybody does it. So, being a centralized exchange, there would be a manpower requirement, right? So, being a territorial exchange, you only need about 80 to 100 employees to maintain that entire platform, because there's KYC to be done, there's questions to be answered, there is multiple transactions to be checked, there can be certain factors that require more assistance, right? So but being available in all three territories, our mapping said that we would require anywhere between 300 to 350 employees would be necessity in order to have this entire a platform in a very well coordinated way. So that's what we would be doing. So
is everybody currently working remotely, or have you started to build infrastructure for your future?
So I believe we have notified this information, because see, we had this COVID scenario going over here, and all the source code work is in house, but done remotely in their places currently. The accumulation of the team currently would happen shortly within the next few weeks time, and that's a huge process by itself. Hopefully you understand, as you run a business, getting few members on board the team itself is a huge task, right? Because we have to set up those pillars, and um, we need to find the genuinity in the people, where we hire the right people on board and have that right team built up, right? So we have to, it's a very we are on a very short time squeeze, specifically with the hiring spree. So we would be starting within the next few weeks, and having a platform and IT corridor set up for our entire servers, our entire maintenance team, and for everything. So
I would assume here with the launch, there'll be additional capital available now to start
correct.
pursuing those projects. I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to pick up a comment and have you address it while we go back and look at the DEX chart. But this is an individual asking, is it live on Uniswap? Well,
Yes,
let's take a look at how it's performing here. And then do you want to address that? Are we live on Uniswap? Yes, we're live on Uniswap. It's available for trading. But if people want to make sure that they're getting the authentic token, because there is another token out there with the symbol TERA, So what should people do to make sure they're getting Terrarium, the official token?
The best way, and always, not only for Terrarium, for any token in the market, the best and the right way is always to visit their official website and get the details, the contract information from there. And that would give you a sense of safety when you make the purchase. And taking the information from elsewhere or using the symbol to get a token is not advisable for a certain category of tokens. For stable tokens, yes, but for other category of tokens, you always have to go into the website and get the contract address from there, and then apply that to Uniswap, just for the safety of the funds that you're investing in.
It's right there.
Should I just pass it?
Contract? No, just
Just
right
below the tokenomics.
just below the contract information.
Oh, here we go. So here's
There
the
you go.
contract address right
Right.
here. Okay. It's been a minute since I've been perused the website. For the last AMA, I went through this really thoroughly. But so copying the contract address from the official Terrarium.com website, and the spelling on that is interesting. If you're in the United States, we would spell Terrarium slightly differently. So make sure you're getting this properly. And I would say if you're following the team, down at the bottom here of their website, they do have their official Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, and several other links here. But I would use those links. Make sure you're following those links. And then if you get solicited from anything that isn't that official link, it's there's the whole crypto space is fraught with scams right now.
Correct.
So,
And our official Twitter handle is at Terrarium. So any other resources that you see, we will never communicate through any other Twitter handle. Our handle is always at Terrarium, and all our official information will be passed through that official handle. Because right as in today, we had almost 3 to 4 spamming pages. Spammers pretty much making fake profiles and fake pages, leading us to the launch. So the community got together and took care of that and reported that. So, but our official information will always be through our website and through our Twitter handle.
okay, very good. So there was another question about transparency, and so far I think you guys have been doing a great job. I was speaking with somebody who does a lot of other investing, and I used to work in investments. When you have publicly traded companies in the United States, people who are high-level executives within publicly traded companies generally are required to give disclosures when they're making transactions inside their wallets. Is there any intention or a system in place for you guys to be notifying if you're making a transaction in your personal wallets? What kind of transparency can we expect there?
See, the thing is, we have vested our tokens. So pretty much all the money that we had, we put it into the entire platform. And we were not able to purchase as many tokens as few of our airdrop individuals might have. So our tokens are vested for almost a year right now. So any sell-off from us or any kind of liquidation from us will only happen after that time period. But our bread and butter is the centralized exchange, right? So the entire functioning of the company and everything will happen from the transaction fees that we get from that.
Okay.
Speaking about the white elephant in the room, that would be me. So, to which that question is addressed. So yes, I do hold. When I got aboard, I wasn't given tokens or anything, so I had to buy in, and the only way to buy in was through the pre-sale. And so and the maximum I could buy was 10 Ethereum per wallet, and that was according to the rules. So, I bet the farm on it, and I invested my money because I see the trajectory, I see the plan, I see the everything that went in, and I love the idea and the runway and the whole centralized exchange idea, and giving the community financial freedom eventually. Me being a doctor, me being out there, a public figure. Um, I mean, I hold a lot of responsibilities, and I'm not doing the trust me bro Inc. Thing, but I'll be holding my tokens for at least a minimum of 5 to 7 years. So
Okay. So the way I see that, you're either the community's arch nemesis or you're the community's best friend, because you have about 10% of the available tokens if looking at the 50 quad remaining non-burned. Or yeah, correct, right? So you've got those locked away, effectively almost reducing the circulating supply. And I will say, when I was listening to the Twitter space the other day, I've been studying communication for 20 years. I worked in sales. I watch people very closely. I'm very much looking for cues in their voice, the way they ask, the way they talk. And when that question was presented to you, you answered immediately and directly. And if people go back and listen to that, there is about a 2-second pause after your answer, because I think that the person who asked it had no inclination that you would just be that forthright. And 2 seconds in conversation is a long pause. When I'm making my videos, I actually go in and take out any pauses because it's very awkward. So you caught people off guard there. And ultimately, you know, we have to either take people at their word, or we have to, you know, if it's too much for people and that's a red flag, then they would choose to not invest. But so far, everything I've seen, your transparency with this entire team seems very forthcoming. Whether the token is set up in the most ideal way or not, I'm not really that good at judging those things. But what I'm seeing in terms of character of the men that are on the screen right now, I've been impressed with. So I appreciate your transparency and honesty.
to add to that, really, since once my wallet number got doxxed, a lot of people went and did Etherscan research. You know, they printed out Google charts, spreadsheets, which are freely available on the internet right now. And they kind of studied the way I behaved with all my transactions since I was with SHIB, moved to Saitama. And I was with Saitama ever since there were less than 300 holders. End of July, I entered, and I'm still with Saitama. I have a significant, allocation of funds in that group, and but I was down 92% of my initiative from the all-time high. And being really, frank with you, I had to diversify, and so I moved the capital to where 50% of that capital to where I saw a potential since.
Well, I think, if your family, I don't know if you have a spouse, but if they're anything like mine, they would think that you're the worst trader on planet Earth, because you basically sold at the lowest point that we've seen for Saitama since the November 13th pre-launch party. So, I'm still holding my entire bag also, and I have high hopes for that community and for that project. I know you're still a large wallet in that project, and I actually heard this morning when people asked you about your sentiments of how you're being treated by that community. I'll let you reiterate that, but I was impressed with your answer there as well.
Well, really,
this been treated harshly.
Yeah, no, the crypto space is something that I didn't think that it would be the way it is. And really, I'm here like everybody else to basically build up a nest egg towards retirement and have some money, have some financial freedom. I'm in my 50s, so I have a daughter I have to put through school, and college, and so many other. I'm still paying back my student loans from medical school.
Yeah.
So, I used to work, I started at $4 an hour, lifting boxes for UPS. And so I was working 9 jobs at one time going through med school. So I put in the work, and every decision I make, I mean, I really think about it and go through it. And when I was with Saitama, even when they were at their ATH, I was in that night when the price was falling, I even went back to my hotel room and was adding more Ethereum to prop up the price. And that continued through through me holding Saitama ever since November at the time of the ATH, December, January, and then there's all comes a fine line that one has to draw. So when I couldn't financially put more Ethereum into Saitama, and looking at the drop that I had lost so much, I had to make some big choices for my future financial. So everybody's individual financial situation is different. Their choices are different, and it should be up to them.
Well, and this whole DeFi space is supposed to be about our freedom to associate with, whoever we want, and the projects that bring the greatest value will be the ones that are supported the most. I wanted to summarize what I heard this morning, and
that's why it's called decentralized.
Right. Yeah, there is no centralized power, right? That's
right.
Bringing it. So we're free to make our own choices there. But in that interview with Awesome Austin, somebody asked if you were planning on bringing, some kind of legal proceedings towards people in that community, and your response was essentially no, and that you're still a holder there and you want the project to succeed. I thought that was pretty big of you, because I've seen some pretty hardcore mudslinging, so I just appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I've been in the industry, I've been in business, I've been an entrepreneur for almost about 22 years. I was the CEO of a big major allergy and asthma corporation with 14 offices. At one stage, we had 105 employees, and I was in charge running the $25 million business. So, I'm well versed with making certain financial decisions. So at the end of the day, answering your question, to me, there are no winners in that kind of an approach. The winners are the attorneys. It's a lose-lose situation. And it's a waste of time, if you ask me. I mean, we don't move forward in innovation and bringing that, football to the goal line if we're always, fighting at the 50-yard line at each other. So that's why I, let it be, and moving forward, I really want to bring this Terarium blockchain and all the things we can deliver on, the use cases, and bring that to fruition, and with Milton's help, on a timely fashion. So that's where I stand.
Well, thank you for your transparency. I know the community appreciates it. And let's go ahead and pivot back to talking about that exchange. And before we get there,
just a small notification, if you don't mind. See,
sure.
Every investor's holding is their hard-earned money, so it is not given free to anybody, right? Everybody works hard for their money, right? So it is their choice where they put their funds at the end of the day. But certain things were not done in an ethical way, but the entire reaction and that authority to do something belongs to Dr. Praveen. But we can just be judges over here about what happened. But the thing is, everybody is an investor. Everybody is here in order to gain financial freedom. So Nobody has to be restricted to any kind of notion in specifically when money is involved in trading, right? So why do we buy a house to stay well? Why do we invest money into a bank to keep it safe? Why do we invest it into trading to make money? So there is no limitations, because I'm a person who believes that freedom should be given to anybody, and to anybody in real life, right? They should not be restricted because of because of limitations, or tied to any kind of thing because they have invested in a certain thing. Or who am I to say what you should do with your money? You
Especially
know?
in America, especially when America was built on our freedom of choice. So if
Yes.
I go to the ATM and take out $20, whether I go to nearby Wendy's or McDonald's, it's my choice.
Right.
Well, as
And
a
I
physician,
can't
you
have the
probably
community, hey, he ate a McDonald's, so he's not, healthy, but our Taco Bell was one of my best, my friend always used to go to Taco Bell. He's like, because that was his favorite, even though he had the choices to go anywhere.
yeah, that's funny.
It's a personal choice. That's all I want to say. So
I
whatever.
agree with that, and it's just I think there's around money. There's always going to be high levels of emotions. People
Correct.
are very much driven to support their communities. And a video that I made last night, I'm essentially saying, take that passion that you have, and instead of turning it towards the negative, choose the projects that you're passionate about and want to support, and put all of your energy into that, because people are never attracted to the negative. I mean, there's a certain faction of people that like to see mudslinging, but for the most part, that never convinces anybody to be attracted to a project or a person. So, all right. So, quick questions here, because I want to keep this to an hour, and I don't want to run out of time for the questions. I need to acknowledge a few people in the audience. I'm getting lots of love from people, but Ryan Patrick is in the audience today. Awesome. Austin is out there. I appreciate both of you and the work that you do. Fine gentlemen right there. Lots of hard work going on. People are wondering when we'll be able to see Terrarium on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap.
See, we could have done the listing before, but there would not have been any trade platform, trading charts in there. So that would be the next steps for us, listing in exchanges and having the entire, the marketing and everything put into Terrarium through CoinMarketCap, Gecko, exchange listings, and everything on board. So that is going to be our next steps.
I think the most important thing, as Dean knows, the next step would be to try to get onto CoinGecko so everybody can see the
Correct.
price on their wallets.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. I got to acknowledge Mark Craven is also in here. He's one of my very first subscribers when I was starting my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Mark, thank you for being here today. So let's talk about, what does the future hold for Terrarium? What are the next big steps, Milton? What kind of utility do you see coming with the exchange?
Absolutely, Dean. Exchange by itself is a big utility, right? So, but the thing is, I truly believe in gathering as much as technology as we can in this time frame as we progress into exchange. And so we would be having a pooling platform, almost like an ICO, like the same platform that you were able to get the Terrarium tokens from, right? A platform with that kind of capabilities that would help businesses to start their pre-sale and start with their liquidity, helping them to gather their liquidity. So we would be having a pre-sale platform compiled in the next 2 months and launching. So more details on that will be published shortly because we have to prepare the white paper with contents on how the utility works on that factor also. See, it's not there in our roadmap, uh, but that's what we do. We bring in more technology into Terrarium because that would help the growth of the entire platform.
Well, we're trying to streamline that function,
Correct.
that everything that we went through this morning, early hours, running to Uniswap, running to the Terrarium.com to get the contract address, make sure it's the right one, and then putting in your slippage and what we do. We wanted to make it like you went through the pre-sale, much more comfortable, much more straightforward, and streamline it so it's comfortable for anybody at any time.
At the same time, each technology and utility we bring on board, contributes for the betterment of the other technology that is involved in it, and helps the entire, like Dr. Praveen said, have a streamlined flow of the technology that binds everything together. So. A centralized exchange will have the highest utility, but once we have laid that foundation, we would move on to the blockchain.
So we're building the ecosystem.
Yeah.
One block at a time.
Also is there.
Right.
Go ahead. One more time, Dr. Ramana.
Yeah, there is NFT platform also between central exchange and
after
blockchain.
the exchange. After the exchange.
Yeah, that is our blueprint of.
So there are two. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, that is our blueprint of our central exchange, our NFT platform based on ERC 721 token.
Yeah, so coming soon, the central exchange, the NFT platform. Okay.
Yes.
See, what we are focused in is the next 6 months. So have as much as utility provided into the token, provided into the platform, so that when the exchange gets launched, everything binds everything together. So.
Okay. So there are two questions for regarding Dr. Willman. One of them, I think, is somewhat. They're asking, is he legitimately a doctor? And if they would have been here early in the stream, they would have seen he was standing in the hospital.
Yes.
So,
yeah, he just texted me saying that he had to leave because he had a call from the. This was about 15 minutes ago.
I thought that one was humorous, but this one actually, I think, is an interesting question. And it's not. I don't want to talk specifically or only about El Salvador, but we know right now you're concentrating on the United States, Dubai, and India. There are some discussions about Dr. Willman potentially having connections with El Salvador, which has Bitcoin as a official currency.
Correct.
So what can you tell us about future development with other countries?
As long as the regulations are comfortable for us to have, to have our exchange running in those platforms and in those territories, because we will be available in as many territories as possible, because currently in the next few weeks, we're going to have our Dubai license, Dubai crypto license made available for us. So just moving on from one to another, right? Because after our Wyoming entity having our regulations cleared over there, we're moving into Dubai and then into the platform for Indian regulations, because we kept it till the last, because as you know, they have notified the they have come up with a 30% tax, but it's still not regularized properly. So once you start with the entire registration process and the entire paperwork, we just kept it till the last minute, because till the next month, in order to have the proper paperwork done once the entire rules has been properly termed. Yes.
Okay. So let's see if we can get one for Dr. Ramana out there. I want to ask you guys have got a pretty good war chest now with the launch of the token, and how do we plan on using those? How do we plan on using those marketing funds to bring more value to the project? That could be for Dr. Ramana or anybody.
Yeah, for marketing, you're asking about marketing, right? How the marketing plans.
Yeah,
that's correct.
We're having one team. There are we have plans and strategy how to move forward. Once our central exchange comes into the market, our central exchange itself will speak. That is our main utility.
So another thing, sorry to interrupt, Dr. Ramana. The thing is, marketing wallets. marketing plays a vital role in any business, right? Business does not sustain without giving importance to marketing. So our initial goal is of two forms. One is to get listed in as many exchanges as possible and have that user base, have our holders, because talk about the product as well, because there's no big marketing other than in the world
Word
than
of
people
mouth.
talking about a certain product. So that is our first initial goal. So the way we work it out is to go through all the exchanges and possibly have a good number of listing in the next 4 months. And the second half is how we maintain our social platforms with our YouTubes, with our Twitter AMAs, and with all the videos that promote the brand Terrarium, right? Um, and the third format is having more technology on board at the end of the day, because see, we are a utility driven token. So having as much as technology on board, that by itself would spread the word about the you know
Tera.
about the about a token and about a terrarium. So
Okay. So for
there's nothing
everybody,
else you can do in any marketing. There's only so much
yeah,
marketing that you can do. So if the utility does not speak for itself, nothing else will. So you can
Yes.
we can say things that this is great, that is great, but the thing is, if you don't deliver on technology, all is words. Nothing is, you know,
all
You got to
right,
build it for people to come.
correct.
that's right. Okay, I'm going to bring up the launch screen here one more time as we get ready to give some closing thoughts. Really, again, congratulations today on by so far what looks like an incredible start to this project. Um, I I guess what I would say is, my observation is that right now the teams that are executing their plan, everybody has a great plan. This is part of your marketing. You look at all of these different projects, I see lots of great plans, and what I've seen is difficulty executing those plans. So Milton, what kind of reassurances can you give us that this plan will get executed to the fullest?
See, the exchange came first for us. Then we did the token. So the work for the exchange started initially, and token is just an added benefit to it. So um, the assurances wise, we have kept ourselves transparent more than any token in the market. I can vouch for that, because we started with the advertisement 60, 70 days before, and we have doxed ourselves, we have registered ourselves as the LLC, and we're doing it into multiple territories, right? So uh, and as you know, all
Milton,
the
I would also add scrutinized to that,
yes,
to that
pretty
word.
much, right? It has been
I
happening all.
scrutinize crypto. Yeah.
Yes. So we have done everything by the books. We have maintained a stable platform even in our pre-sale, so that the holders' liquidity will be saved. And I'm not, uh, you know, pointing out to any tokens, and that is not my job basically to do that. But I'm saying that we have done a better job than any token in the market, in the current market, having this platform put out in such a way that it is safe for all the holders on board. So that by itself should speak loud words. And it's just, we are having new technologies coming on board in the next 2 months, because the technologies that we are putting on certain tokens make it as their key technology, but it is just an added technology for us. So that's what we are doing, and we would continue to do that. And we have kept it transparent. We have kept our books open for everybody to ask any questions, and at any day period. So nothing is pre-handed to us, as you know, Dean. Every questions are instantly asked, and we respond to that questions um, as and when it is. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Well, I just want to tell you guys, we're right at the hour mark. I know for people who are watching, if you don't know, in India right now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and so I'm guessing you gents have had long, long days, sleepless nights, and I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to take a break. So do any of you have any closing thoughts that you want to add before we sign out today?
Dr. Praveen?
Yeah, of course. Well, what we're trying to do is really build a community-based, friendly ecosystem of towards financial freedom, where we protect the investor, and in the same plane, also give back rewards. So that's the ultimate goal that I see of this project, and I see huge potential in growth, and to be the next Coinbase, or better, making it better than Coinbase, or making it actually the gold standard in centralized exchanges.
Yeah, it's exciting to be on the ground floor of a centralized exchange. This is, if this goes well, the early investors are going to be rewarded insanely. And you guys have, I mean, you just crossed through 8 zeros, 1-4. It's 141. I mean, it's on the rise here. I hope that this continues for you all, and for all of us, really.
And we do appreciate your time, Dean.
Thank you so much for having us on board, Dean, once again. So we would keep you posted with all the upcoming news and catalysts that we have. And we have quite a lot planned out. So we would be doing a lot of AMAs with you regarding that, absolutely, if you have the time.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I want to keep the dialogue going and make sure the community gets the information they need to make informed decisions.
Correct.
Yes.
Right,
Sure.
because in the next few days we will have our certic audit, possibly by the 24th, and great things are incoming for us. So we'll just wait it out. And thank you everybody for being. Thank you for supporting Terrarium. It is a community-driven token, and as long as we are strong, the token will maintain a very strong growth. And thank you everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you for being patient with us.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody for joining the stream. Have a great day. If you if you want to help support Terrarium, like it and share it out on Twitter so lots of people can get a look and see answers to some of these questions that I think are fascinating. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.